In a culture that glorifies toxicity, dysfunction, and chaos, it does not surprise me that we've gotten to a place where the real men and the real women, or the healthy men and the healthy women, those who can be in a functional, healthy relationship dynamic, are sometimes overlooked. It doesn't surprise me. It used to be one of these mysteries, right? Why is it that those who are actually relationship material, husband material, wife material, why is it that they're sometimes, even oftentimes, overlooked? And I started to realize, oh, of course, because the social engineering, the social conditioning has us backwards. We're living in the upside down, where we believe right is wrong and wrong is right, where we believe that a person who has no level of self respect and is addicted to attention is somebody who deserves that attention, as opposed to the one who actually sees themselves as sacred. They understand that they're divine. They understand that they are not just flesh. They are a spirit, a soul. They have essence to them. They have character, and they are beyond the physical body. That those individuals are the ones who are actually deserving of that attention. And I'm going to speak to men in this moment, but I'm really speaking to all of us as a collective. Is we have to make the decision of what we're going to give our attention to. If we continue to feed into the ratchetness, that is what's going to ratchet up, all pun intended. That's what's going to be cranked up every single time. If we continue to feed into the foolishness, then that's what's going to be perpetuated. We talk about being leaders, right, in the household. How are you leading when your focus and your attention is fixated upon more dysfunction, more chaos? There are these good women, just like there are good men. I've never been one of these dudes to say, oh, man bad, woman good, or woman bad, man good. Well, okay, a little bit when I was in the red pill, I was a little bit on that, but still something in me recognized to say, dude, there's good and bad in everybody, right? There is an equal percentage of the psycho and sociopaths in each group, but that doesn't display who everybody is within our two genders. But the point being, and I'm going to get into a video right now that perfectly breaks this down, is to say that modesty is always going to be treasured. It's always going to be valuable. One who has a level of integrity and self-respect and moves through life in that way. We love to pretend we're something that we're not by just using words to camouflage. I got self-respect, but you're moving through life as an object, something just to be desired sexually. You're not moving through life as, as a full human, as a whole human being. This ain't me judging. This is facts. These are things that were common knowledge. Your grandmama used to be able to say this to you without you cussing her out. To say, what are you doing? This is madness. This is crazy. As a young boy, your father was not telling you go out there and just slang it all. No, you need to go and make a man of yourself. You need to court. You need to go through the process of actually earning this affection. You need to do what is necessary to take care of your family. Not you need to create 17 broken homes and just lay up with anybody and just plant seeds and dip. That was never supposed to be the way. But we have lost our way, and it is our job to speak truth to power, to not be afraid of those who are going to try to shame you into being silent and to accepting this foolishness that we've bought into. So I'm going to get into this video titled "Why Some Women why some modest women get overlooked," and it's a beautiful little discussion that's being had. So let's get into it, and then we're going to recap right after.
Why do modest women get ignored versus the wilder women?
I think the answer to your question may lie in the definitions. A more boisterous, outward personality, like that's going to get noticed faster. Like if I modestly walk through the room, that means I just walked from one door to the other, didn't make no noise. I wasn't focused on nobody. I just went where I was trying to go. A modest woman is the same thing. She not centering herself around a man. She's not centering herself around attracting a man. Now, the thing about that modest woman, what may feel like getting overlooked, you have to understand, a man is not looking for a modest woman until he ready to get out the game. Ooh. And a lot of dudes is just out here around. So it's like if I'm just out here around, I'm not looking for a woman that's trying to get out the game because I'm enjoying the game. And right now, I'm not going to be one of them people who say this generation. I am going to say it's a lot of games being played right now, though. So a lot of people not looking for modesty on any side of it because it's plenty of good women who just don't make noise. But right now, men are being coaxed into wanting more noise than anything else. So a lot of dudes is going after noise. Keep doing your modest thing, sweetheart, and be glad that the men that are overlooking you are overlooking you, because most of them will probably waste your time.
If you get overlooked by a demon, it is the best thing that ever happened to you. If that individual does not usher their way into your life, that is a blessing in disguise. You know, I oftentimes say that it's not rejection, it's a redirection. And when you're somebody who knows you're living right and you have certain types of individuals who are passing you by, again, it is the best thing that happened to you. I promise you that. I once said, I pray to God to relieve me of all my enemies. And this ain't an original quote, but this really happened in my life. I started praying to God, I said, please, like, remove anybody who's not for me. And I lost a lot of quote unquote friends. Straight up. They started dropping like flies in different forms. This one's getting locked up. This one ends up passing away. These ones end up moving out of town and getting even deeper into a lifestyle that we all engaged in, but I left. We were all dope boys. I made the decision I'm no longer going to be this. I'm going to live in a more righteous way. I'm going to live in a right way, right? I'm going to live in a life-giving way. And I ended up losing a lot of quote-unquote friends. My day ones, the ones who I saw as my brothers, etc., started revealing their true colors once I was no longer a part of that hive mind. And so, getting into this conversation of, again, it's like, damn, I'm moving out here not like these professional twerkers or these glorified strippers, etc. And I mean that literally, because that's exactly the culture we've created. We're glorifying, we're glorifying profanity. We're glorifying the profane. Like, let's not get that twisted. We're pedestalizing sexualization of human beings, objectification of humans. That's what we're doing. That's what the culture has downgraded itself to. And so exactly what this brother is saying. And he talks about, I love the analogy of, again, noise, because it is noise. The ones who are looking for and crave attention, which is a majority of our planet now, there is so much seeking of any type of attention, even if it's negative attention, that there will be a collective who is simply making noise, and so they get attention. But as I often say, attention does not equate to love. Just because somebody will lay up with you does not mean they will stay up with you. It does not mean they want you around. It does not mean that they actually are invested into you. Just because they got the cookie doesn't mean they're going to stay for the milk. You understand me? Just because you gave your body doesn't mean they're now invested into you. It doesn't work that way. Just because they paid you some attention, they're Googling over you because you got whatever on, form-fitting or, completely revealing, whatever. Just because they're looking at you right now doesn't mean a damn thing. They don't love you in the same way. You don't love somebody who's just yelling and screaming down the street and you look over, you pay it attention. What's going on? You might be looking over there. It doesn't necessarily mean you give a damn. And so that's the confusion that we've fallen into. We've fallen into this trap. And, there is a thing of this day and age because we didn't have social media before. We didn't have these platforms where you could get, attention on at bulk, at a discounted price on bulk. It's like the Costco of attention, the social media space, right? For the lowest price possible, you can get yourself the highest premium of attention. And it's gotten crazier and crazier. But this is what will never change within the human experience, is that the one who is truly relationship material is always going to be the one who materializes the healthiest relationship dynamics. That's always going to be the one who experiences peace. There is a formula of righteousness to live in a peaceful, fulfilled, satisfying, and content life. There is something about living a quote-unquote quiet life. It doesn't mean you hide from the world and you don't put your gifts out. You need to shine in this world, but the shining is not a synthetic facade of arrogance, which is just fear in disguise. You're so afraid of not being seen that you're willing to do anything to be seen. These are childhood wounds and childhood traumas that are manifest in how somebody is behaving and showing up in the world. And ladies, when you see somebody who is, again, as he said, if you see somebody who is overlooking you because you're not the one with all your assets out, and they're directing their attention to the one who is, that is the opposite of the person that you want to be involved with. You don't want to be engaged with that individual. Just like me as a man, I'm not attracted by those things. I've been called out in real life before because I wouldn't succumb to, certain external things. Like I didn't find it attractive. I didn't. I simply didn't. I'm sorry. The BBL looks crazy to me. The ant booty, it looks crazy to me. Some of these lashes look like like you're about to fly off into the heavens. Some of these things aren't appealing to me. That's me. And you might say, well, that's you. But yeah, it is me. It is me. It's my own personal opinion, and my opinion shouldn't mean nothing to you, right? But nevertheless, they tried to shame me into, how dare you not want somebody like this? Oh, you're insecure. That's one they always jump to. They're always going to pin you as quote unquote insecure simply because you don't want to buy into their agenda. They call you jealous because you're somebody who actually has enough respect for yourself and your relationship. And as a man, you have a protective instinct. You wouldn't want your daughter going out there and knowing that she's going to be a target for these damn psychos and predators. So you gonna say, baby girl, cover up. You do the same for your wife. Like if you have that in you, you have, the masculine energy running through you. It's just a natural tendency to be like, let's not do that. You can call it insecure, jealous, and you're trying to compete with all these people who ain't got a healthy relationship online. That's what I oftentimes see is people who are in solid relationships trying to compete with the internet, and they end up losing what they got. Now they end up crying on a couch like Tia Mowry, like, damn, I wish I had my husband back. I mean, you never had to lose that relationship, but you're listening to miserable people, and so you're going to get miserable outcomes. It's as simple as that. Continue to live in the way that you are living if you're living rightfully. It's like for me, there are plenty of times there's been a temptation to just talk about any type of foolishness. I could easily just get on a live stream and just start going crazy with it. Just start saying dumb stuff. Just, being a fool, being a coon, a real life coon. Shucking and jiving and so pandering to y'all, saying anything that you want to hear. Soothsaying in order just to get your attention and to get clicks. I can go out there and wow out. But instead, I choose to be myself. I choose to be truthful and authentic and to let that cut through. It's easy for me to just switch over and be a man without integrity, where my word means nothing, where you can't really trust what I say. I can go out there and be a fake thug and be a this and be a that. I did it. I did it for a while. I did it from 14 to around 19. I did that. I had the whole persona down. And they believed it and I believed it. But it was still dysfunctional and chaotic. And so, this is a message and a conversation to those who are looking to truly become right-minded, right? To live in integrity, to live with a sense of dignity and self-respect. Self-respect is the most attractive quality to an individual who respects themselves. So if you want to be in a relationship with somebody who has a capacity to respect you, to love you, they first must have that for themselves, right? And the way you know that is that they are moving in the way where they respect themselves. If that woman does not respect herself, which is what she's showing, she doesn't have enough respect for herself to not put everything out on display to the world. She's more addicted to the attention than she is with being somebody who actually has modesty about them and integrity. And it's crazy, like even the word prude, we turned into a curse word to shame people, right? Oh, you're a prude. You don't do this and that. When in truth, prudence is a very powerful, positive word. It means somebody who is discerning, somebody who is wise in how they move through life. It was never a thing connected just to sexuality. It was connected to the way in which you move through life. Wisely, a prudent individual is one who doesn't just, waste away their money. They don't waste away their words. They don't waste away their relationships. They are discerning as far as how they move through life. So you want to be prude. Modesty. It's like modesty in your eating, modesty in your relationship, modesty in your finances. But yet we've made that a curse word, and we started to shame those who want to move in that certain way. So I want to be that voice in the wilderness, that voice of encouragement to say, continue to do you. Just like that brother said, I'm so glad that was his closing statement, is continue to do you, period. Period. Let go of whatever belief systems that you've been holding on to as far as what it takes to attract X, Y, and Z. You don't need to do none of that. You need to continue to live righteously and rightfully, and that's what's going to attract into your life. It may be a different experience like me. It may have taken a little longer to build a platform to get the momentum because I'm not out here doing crazy stuff, but it's going to last forever. It's going to last a test of time. You are going to last a test of time. Your relationship dynamics are going to last a test of time because you're living in the right way. Your habits, the way in which you think, the way in which you move, your character is already developed. And so you'll be moving in a different way. Where the one who's used to being, the glorified strippers, etc., those individuals, they are going to have a difficult time as they are now to truly transcend their character right now. They're so invested in that identity that now when it's time to truly be a unit, a family unit, to develop a relationship, they struggle. I hear these conversations on a weekly basis of some trying to make that transition. It is a difficult transition to make because your habits are in the complete opposite way. It's like if you've been eating unhealthy your whole life, you've been eating a sugar and carb diet, now you're trying to move to a ketogenic and cut off all those carbs and sugars. It's going to be painstakingly difficult. But if you've been eating right the entire way, right? You've been eating modestly in essence. When it's now time to cut out a little more sugar, a little more carbs, it's going to be an easier transition for you. And that's how I want you to look at this thing. It's like you're doing the right thing and your investment is in the right place. And at the very, very least, which is the very most, you have a peace of mind on a daily basis. You can go to sleep at night knowing that you're showing up in a real, authentic way and that you're aligned with the divinity that's within you. You're aligned with your creator. You're living rightfully. And that you can't buy with nothing on this earth. Not enough money, not enough platinum, diamond, and gold can purchase that right there. Nothing can purchase your soul, to have your soul intact. You can't put a price on that.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see